An employee exposed himself at a conference, and his bosses banded together to protect him, even despite his retribution against a witness. In a department, all the junior faculty who were women had offices in the basement, and the senior faculty who were men had offices on the top floor. When a new male junior faculty joined, they found an office on the top floor. Woman joined an organization with promises of support, but one by one, her boss removed those supports, removed her responsibilities, and cut her funding. She ended up leaving, frustrated and disappointed. What do these situations have in common? In each of them, there are three people. There's someone behaving poorly. There's someone who's not living up to their potential and being able to be safe and productive at work. And there's someone who knows about what's going on but isn't doing anything. This is politics no one ever teaches you how to deal with. I want to share with you about functional politics, how to make politics work in the workplace. Now, when I started in academia, I was aware of the reputation of academia. I'm sure you are as well, around what is challenging in that workplace. I decided that I was not going to do politics. Pretty naive. I decided I was just going to be straightforward. I would say what I mean and mean what I say and bring up challenges straightforwardly, and that things would work out okay. That's not quite how it happened. So in the first 3 months, someone tried to take my staff to have them work on her projects. Someone else tried to put all of their storage in my office, and someone else tried to reappropriate my computers for their project. I learned really quickly, you may not want to do politics, but you have to practice at least defensive politics. So in the workplace today, we don't have the option to not do politics. We can't just stick our heads in the sand. Functional politics is where it's at. And the key to functional politics is developing strategic alliances. Strategic alliances are those alliances that you have where people share crucial information, have each other's backs, and provide support. These alliances can be at different levels. They can be your colleagues, your peers. They can be people junior to you. They could also be people senior to you. They could be in your organization or outside of your organization. Those things don't matter. What matters is that you intentionally cultivate strategic alliances. I'll show you how. So first, you share crucial information. Everyone knows that information is power. In the workplace, knowledge is power. If you know the boss is in a bad mood, if you know there's a reorganization coming, that gives you power. It gives you power because it gives you time to maneuver, to protect your staff, to protect your projects, to protect yourself, to maybe see what's going to happen if you might get laid off. It gives you power. So when you share crucial information with other people, it really helps them in their workplace as well. And then they start sharing information with you. So a really simple example was a friend of mine who went to a restaurant, loved the food, started talking with the owner, and took that moment to be a strategic alliance and share crucial information. He said to the owner, "Your food is great. My office is having a picnic coming up. Why don't you call and see if you might be able to be the caterer? I'll put in a good word for you." Simple. And a picnic turned out great. That person was able to be a strategic alliance in the moment. So when you share crucial information, you share power and you lift people up. Second, you have each other's backs. It's amazing what people will say when someone isn't in the room. So in a hiring seminar, someone gave a talk, and then after the candidate left, the chair said, "Wow, that was an impressive candidate, but I wonder how much she'll really be able to contribute because she has a bun in the oven." All of the men harumphed and looked uncomfortable. The women's jaws dropped. But at that moment, the secretary, she took that moment to wave some papers in the chair's face and say, "We need to go over the non-discrimination requirements." Good for her. Good for her. In that moment, even though that secretary didn't know the candidate at all, she was being a strategic alliance. She had her back. That's amazing. So you may have to have someone's back like our secretary friend did in an indirect way, but she made her point. When you have more power in an organization, you can have someone's back in a direct way, and you can directly speak up. And when you speak up, whether it's directly or indirectly, when you have someone's back, it sends a message. It says, I see you. I see what you're doing. I know what's happening. It also sends a message to everyone else saying, wow, that's somebody who's sticking up for somebody else. That's great. That's great. So then that ends up lifting everyone up. Third strategy is to actively support others. Now, whenever I'm in an organization, I'm nice. I try to be nice. I say, hey, did you hear that Allison got promoted? Isn't that great? She's a superstar. She's really on her way up. And the person says, wow. I say, hey, Bob, did you hear that Dale really knocked it out of the park with that process, with that presentation that he did? That was incredible. What a go-getter. Sometimes people look at you a little funny. Why is this person saying nice things about other people who aren't even here? But that's okay. You'll get used to that part. And then the good people see what you're doing. They know what you're doing, and they start complimenting other people randomly. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing when that happens. So how does this work in reality? So early in my career, I was in a department where all the junior people were women and all the senior people were men. And they were not, let's say, the most enlightened senior people at the time. So we women, even without even talking about it, we would make sure we never sat together in a meeting. We always spread ourselves out through the room. So if someone happened to forget an accomplishment that one of us had, somebody else would always bring it up and say, hey, I just wanted to point out that she just got a big grant or this good thing happened. And then everyone heard about it. Similarly, if one of us was being attacked, someone else from somewhere else in the room would step up and support that person. It was beautiful. And the fact that we didn't sit together made us even more powerful than we felt. Wherever you have people, you have politics. Having strategic alliances is incredibly important, especially for women and people of color who are less likely to get recognized, less likely to toot their own horns, and less likely to have these strategic alliances. The more that each of us can do to build these strategic alliances, it helps push back on the people who band together to protect someone who doesn't deserve it. It helps us push back on people who are mean or people who are just not paying attention. However you do it, as you move forward with your strategic alliances, it'll make you feel good to know you have someone's back, and it'll definitely make you feel good to know someone else has yours.